Welcome to another interesting time on the Media Talk Show series, where we engage in peer learning for media professionals from across the traditional media, that is the TV, radio, print, and of course the digital media. Every now and then I bring someone new, some colleague in the industry, to share from her experience. And today we are going to be talking about the art of storytelling for documentaries. The art of storytelling for documentaries. I'm going to be bringing my guest in now, welcoming her in her language. Let me tell you the secret. She actually taught me this before this show started. So I'm going to just be welcoming her in her language, and she'll be responding before I formally introduce our guest. So let me welcome you in your language. Salam.
Salam Adi.
And Endetnesh.
Dananing Endetnesh.
All right, great. That is, I'm doing fine. I should come and learn a bit of the Ethiopian language. What do you call the dialect? What do you call that dialect in Ethiopia?
Amharic.
Amharic.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the only language in Ethiopia, spoken in Ethiopia, or you have other languages?
It's one of the working language nationally and most spoken, but we have around 83 languages in Ethiopia.
Oh, wow. Nigeria, I think we have over 300 or more. More languages and tribes.
Yeah.
It's a large country. All right, so let's get right into it.
The fascinating thing about Amharic is it has its own alphabet and numeric number.
The language has its own numbers and numeric alphabet. Fantastic.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I think in the Nigerian culture too, the languages do have, like my language, Yoruba, has, different dialects and all of that. We have our numbers, we have our letters. All right. Right about now, let me just share a bit of my guest, Yeshihareg Abebe from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. You're welcome to Media Talks program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now, thank you. Now, Yeshi is a communications professional with 9 years of experience in communications, journalism, research, driven by a passion for using storytelling to create awareness and drive positive change. Her current role is as co-watch for, where she is involved in developing communication strategies, crafting content across various media platforms, overseeing dissemination, and engaging stakeholders. She has a background as a journalist, which has allowed her to connect with audiences through news anchoring and creation of news stories. Throughout Yeshi's career, she has focused on being effective in communicating stories through diverse platforms, telling stories from her communities, giving voice to the people in her community. Make welcome again my
Thank you so much.
delectable lady all the way from Ethiopia, Yeshi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, so let's get right down into our conversation for today. We are talking about the art of storytelling through documentary, the art of storytelling in documentary. However, before we go down that lane, tell us about what inspired you to begin your journey in the media space as a broadcast journalist. Was it something you had always wanted to do, or someone inspired you to go into the media profession?
My journey into broadcast journalism or journalism as a whole has been really exciting. Really has. It's a profession that mirrors life. If you know what I mean. Every day there is something you will learn. You had a chance to grow and actually make a contribution back to your society. And taking back what inspires me to join this field I was always captivated by the news channels, the international news channels like the BBC, Al Jazeera. And my dad,
Yeah.
he always had them on. We didn't have any choice but to watch the news channels.
Wow.
And for me, they were like a window to the world. You could see what was happening at different perspectives. But it wasn't just the information that got me. I was really struck by the journalists using this platform, not just only to report news, but to raise social issues, sensitive issues that we couldn't raise, especially things that affected the marginalized communities, seeing them
Yes.
raise awareness about, for instance, gender-based violences, harmful traditional practices, and this did hit me. And they also showed us uninspiring figures, for instance, like women in politics, and that really I don't know, inspired me, I think, and that it hit me, And journalism wasn't just about reporting the news. From that's what I understood. It was about being a voice for people who didn't have one at the time, and it's about being a catalyst for positive change. I don't know if you understood what I'm saying, and
Yes. Yes.
that realization, I think, inspired me, or I think I got the passion to join this field from that. And at the time, I think I really wanted to contribute to my community and to
Yeah.
get or to give a platform to those who needed it most. And I truly believe that uh, I wanted to be part of something that could make a real difference. I believe that's why I joined journalism and studied political science at the university.
Oh, awesome. You from political science to the media. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how long have you been practicing as a media professional?
Um,
Been
Almost 8 years now, I think. Yeah, 8 years.
oh, nice. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you've worked in TV, print. What are the platforms you've worked on?
I worked in TV and print media as well, and
Oh,
online
nice.
medias as well.
Oh, oh, so you cut across both the traditional media and the digital media. Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Looking at documentaries, which is what you do. I've watched a number of your documentaries that you produce for
Thank you.
Co-Wash, for amazing story. I love the way
Thank you.
your documentaries is not just a news about, oh, water was provided for this community. You told stories through the eye of, I like this particular one where you told the story through the eye of a young girl. I think her name is Mary. Am I correct? Yeah.
Aster.
Where,
Mm.
yes, where she had to go to fetch water, in long distance, which affected her
Yeah.
school. And, it affected her health. The documentary captured how she and some other girls and every other person were experiencing backache. You talked about how it invariably impacted the whole community. It was such a beautiful, storytelling for me. So the story wasn't just about the tap water or the borehole that was provided. It was about Mary and her community, which
Yeah.
is such a draw in for me, for us as
Mm.
journalists. In terms of wanting to create documentaries, what are the requirements for creating a compelling documentary?
Mm. When it comes to really making a compelling documentaries, you need to have a clear vision. You got to figure out what topic or area that really resonate with you or with your project, something you are passionate about, or something that makes your project stand out. And the core of any good documentary, I think, is to have a clear narrative from the beginning, and it needs to be authentic, featuring real people, real emotions, and you need to let people speak, like you said, like in the case of Aster, let their stories and feelings drive the narratives instead of you pushing what you want to tell people or your agenda or your topic. So the human element is that what really connects with viewers. So you need to tell the community, tell their own story. And it is also super important to find a unique perspective. You shouldn't bring what we have been hearing for ages or for years. You need a new angle or insight to bring to the table. What's going to make your documentary stand out from others? You need to have something unique, and that fresh perspective is what's going to grab the attention of your viewers, I think. And research is another element that's non-negotiable when you want to do a documentary. Credibility is absolutely paramount. You need to have informed consent, which is essential from the community. And you have to plan meticulously beforehand. Like you need time. You have to thoroughly plan what you're going to do from the start to the end. Do your research and build trust with the community. The good thing, I think the opportunity I had with the course documentaries was I traveled to these communities several times. I had the chance to write their stories, to spend many days with them. So they know me, I know them well, and this gives me a chance. Through this, I got their trust, and it's like changing the stories we have already written into a documentary. So in this aspect, it was easier. Of course, ethical considerations are vital too. We have got to always strive for accuracy and fairness. And the thing I can tell you after finalizing the co-watch documentary is first time, it's a very difficult process. It's a demanding process. It's not that easy. You must have a passion for that subject or for that topic. And I think that will keep, if you have passion for the subject, that will keep you going through the challenges. You will face many challenges from the start to the end. You must be ready to adapt, and time and also a good production company are crucial. I think these are the general.
Yes, very, very, very insightful. You talked about research, picking a topic of interest, and I love this one, letting the people speak. You also talked about unique perspective, fresh angle, go away from what people are used to in telling, creating a documentary. You go away from what people are used to, what people hear every now and then. And then, of course, credibility, informed consent, ethical consideration, demanding, it's a demanding process. You have to you have to be willing to put in the work. And the fact that you visited the community, is very, very important, because sometimes again, as media professionals, people tend to do some production just sitting in their office or in their space without going out to the community. And it is in going out to the community that you get rich, stories and rich content. Now, bringing it to this point, why is storytelling important in documentaries? Because it's easy to just go and just get your rushes, get the main points, and then you put together something, and that is it. Why is storytelling important for documentaries?
For me, storytelling is absolutely everything in a documentary production. It's I see it as a heart and the soul of the documentaries, really. And you can have the most important topic or very good visuals, but without a good storytelling aspect, if the storytelling is not there, it's just a flat. You know what I mean? It will not be that significant, or you will not have a good documentary at all. Essentially, for me, storytelling is how we connect with people on an emotional level, and it takes all that raw information and makes it relatable and engaging for your viewers. And a strong narrative, it can do so much. For instance, it can create empathy by focusing on the human side of things. It lets viewers really understand the situation and connect with the communities. It also drives engagement. A good story keeps you hooked. It makes you
Yes.
think and feel, and it's brilliant for conveying complex topics or ideas. Documentaries explore different thematic areas: scientific, politics, economics, social. So storytelling can simplify these ideas. If you are not a technical person, and if you don't have a good storytelling aspect, people might not want to see your documentaries. I mean, unless they are a technical person. I can, for instance, if you're talking about a neurological findings or something in science, I may not be interested in watching your documentary, as I'm not that. I don't have the technical background, but storytelling can simplify things and make them accessible to everyone, I think, for the wider audience. And plus, a powerful story leaves you a lasting impact. It sticks with you long after you watched it, and it inspires reflection and sometimes even action from people. And so in the end, it really comes down to this. I mean, the effectiveness of a documentary, it hinges on its ability to captivate and move its audience or viewers. And that's exactly what compelling storytelling achieves, I think.
Great. And storytelling, like you said, leaves a lasting mark on you. So, for example, I'm able to narrate everything in your documentary, Mary's documentary, the WASH documentary from her community. I can literally follow the story in my head, and I can tell you, right from her story, the way I mapped it out in my head is you narrowed in on one single person's story, and then you from her story you zoomed out to introduce the community to your audience. So it was quite interesting and engaging for me, which is very important, such that I think documentaries have this ability to be boring if you do not implement the storytelling strategy. They
Yeah.
just look like historical concept or very technical concept. So, Yeshi, walk us through how you would normally prepare for your documentary. Just walk us through, who do you have to work with? What are the elements you have to put in place? What's the process for you in coming up with one of these your interesting documentaries, so we could learn from your experience?
Uh, as I said earlier, you need to first start from a clear vision or a topic. What do you want to work on? What do you want to tell about your project? If it's an individual or a personal documentary uh, done by a private company or a private organization, you need to be passionate. You need to select the topic that you are passionate about. A topic you want to tell people about, and then you need to have compelling real stories. I mean,
Yeah.
that's paramount. You need a story of an individual, a community that really inspires and creates a genuine emotional link with the viewers. And you need to find a very good production company if you are a project like us. And I said clear arc with a natural flow for the stories. You want your story to unfold organically or naturally, like a good book with an opening or a beginning, a middle, and end. And of course, it's crucial to have emotional resonance. You want to evoke a genuine emotion through the visuals, the sound, the authenticity of the storytelling itself. Uh, Visual storytelling is huge. I think I came to the elements part. You asked me about elements. And visual storytelling is huge. You need to use images and effectively to convey meaning and enhance the narrative. And also effective sound design. You don't need to underestimate the power of sounds. As you have seen in our documentaries, we try to utilize musics from each region we went to show their cultural music, their traditional musics. And yes, effective sound and sound design is critical. And authenticity and honesty are also non-negotiable for me. You have to strive for truthfulness and build that trust with your subjects or the communities in your documentaries. And finally, you need a clear theme or message. This is not it's the last one, but not the least one. All elements should come together to contribute to that focused and impactful message you want to deliver to people. Ultimately, it's about connecting with the audience on a human level and leaving a lasting impression. I think. Yeah.
So it's all about leaving a lasting impression. Now
Yeah.
let's bring it on to what are some of the legal and ethical considerations someone who
Mhm.
wants to do a documentary should put in place? What should you watch out for in terms of legal and ethical standards?
Mm. Yeah, legal and ethical considerations are very critical when you are working on documentaries. They are not just checkboxes, they are fundamental to the integrity of the work. First and foremost, I think respect for ethical and cultural sensitivities is crucial. You're dealing with real people, real communities, and their stories. You have to be mindful of their values, their cultural norms, and their beliefs. Um, and there is informed consent. It's not just about getting a signature, it's about ensuring that everyone involved fully understand how their story will be used. And of course, we must always give due consideration to humanity. Uh, this means like people will respect, showing respect and dignity even when you are dealing with difficult or sensitive topics. It's about avoiding exploitation and ensuring that the documentary contributes to understanding, but not harm. You know, let people, let your viewers understand. It's not a point, or the goal is not to harm those interviewed or included in your documentary. Legally, you need to be mindful of copyright issues or copyrights, especially when using archival footage or music. You need to be aware of defamation laws as well, and ensure that your documentary is accurate and fair. Ultimately, it's about being responsible storytellers. I think we have a duty to the subject or the communities or the individuals in the documentaries and our viewers or audience, and to the truth itself, I think.
Yes, yeah. So I picked a lot from there. Respect for the cultural value of the community or whoever story you're trying to capture in the
Yeah,
documentary. Consent, not just signing. A lot of times I work in the development space as well. We just make people to sign. You have to explain what this documentary entails, where you'll be using it, what you'll be using it for, and ensure that
yeah,
everybody is on the same page. And then you also, take cognizance of the do no harm principle. You ensure that you treat your communities, your recipients, the people you are telling their stories, you give them the respect, accord them the respect that they deserve. And then, of course, copyright issues in terms of footages, music, and all of that. Now, I would like you to share a bit about some of the challenges you have had to, go through in developing your documentaries, and how did you surmount them?
uh, you'll face difficult sort challenge from the start to the end. Uh, Logistically, time wise, it was a challenging time for us. We have faced so many challenges, starting from traveling. It's the topic is water supply, safe water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. So we needed to travel to remote areas, and sometimes the crew has to carry their equipment, which are very huge and difficult because the roads were not accessible for cars. So that was the first and the big challenge when we started filming. And challenge somehow was a little bit barrier, but since we have translators, it was not that much difficult. I think three of our crew members from the filming crew got sick while with malaria at one point
Oh, oh,
because we
oh.
were traveling through a village where malaria outbreak was happening at the time. So logistic wise and managing two teams at the same time, we had two production teams in different places. I had the chance to travel with one of them, and it was somehow very difficult to see them sick, and we couldn't even get a hospital nearby. And the team told me that they appreciated the coach team for traveling through these difficult roads and also saw how the community is living in a very challenging environment. Like they weren't even they struggled to go to even to the hospitals for the three members, and even bringing your idea to the ground was also another difficulty. We had so many ideas, and when you go to and portraying that in the documentary or showing that in the documentary was another challenge. Uh, uh, I think many challenges we have. Yeah, I think, but these were the main ones. I think, yeah. Also, even during editing, it was in the post-production process. That was another challenge. It's like we have many footage, and selecting
Yeah,
from those footage was another challenge
yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't know what. Sometimes it's challenging to leave one footage and like post-production. I thought like I thought like after finalizing the filming, it will be an easy cake, so like a piece of cake. But no, we still have another challenge coming. So
I
yeah,
know, right? Because looking
yeah,
at your videos, I see that you have them in like 12 minutes, 15 to 12 to 20 minutes thereabout.
yeah,
And if you filmed for days, you filmed
yeah,
hours of footages, it's going to be tough finding
yeah,
which footage best tells your story. And then again, in
yeah,
filming, they always say collect as many footages as you can because you don't have the time to go back to
yeah,
say, oh, we could have taken this footage. So I understand. I
yeah,
pretty much understand, what you are talking about. Awesome, awesome.
yeah.
Well done to you and
Thank
the team. Now, bringing it home to you as a communication specialist and journalist. What is journalism like in Ethiopia? Is it um is it a space that is friendly for women like you? Is the journalism friendly and open to women? Can women practice freely, or are there any challenges?
you. Practicing as a female journalist in Ethiopia. So, to be honest, it's definitely not always a piece of cake. There are a lot of unique challenges uh, we face. I think I have been incredibly fortunate to work with some truly supportive colleagues and organizations where gender was not an issue or a barrier. In those spaces, I felt valued for my skills and my contributions, and I'm deeply grateful for that. But however, out in the field, it's always not the same. Sometimes you encounter situations where being a woman does make things a bit more difficult, and there can be instances where people don't take you seriously when you go for interviews, press conferences, etc. That people doesn't take you seriously suddenly because you're a woman, or think you are there just to fulfill a gender quota. You're there because you are a woman. It's not because you're skilled or you're experienced or you have the background. And can be challenging, to be honest, to navigate those situations while trying to do your job effectively. And but despite these challenges, there are strong sense of resilience and determination among female journalists here. And I believe, no, that I believe we're passionate about telling stories, and we're committed to overcoming this challenge. There are so many women doing amazing jobs and paving the way for the next generation. Women journalists, as I take as a role model, even for my career, and I'm so proud to see them in the field. There are also, I think, a lot of support within the female journalist community. I'm grateful for that as well. Not only just for the women, but the whole journalists. I mean, they have been very supportive whenever you need something, whenever you need a cooperation. And I appreciate that immensely. I witnessed that again after I joined the development sector, and especially after we released these documentaries. And by the way, I wanted to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who has supported us. I mean, it's a complex landscape, but it's something that's an area, or it's one I'm proud to be part of.
Awesome, awesome. I like the fact that you know, the system is becoming more friendly to female journalists. You have been able to establish the fact that you are there not just because you want to fulfill the gender quota or because you're a woman, but because you are skilled, you are trained, you know the job, and you go ahead to do it. And it's heartwarming to see that things are changing. And I hope that more
Yeah.
women in Ethiopia would push forward in their dream to work in the media space as journalists, whether you are a broadcaster or print or the digital space. Before I let you go, do you have many TV radio stations in Ethiopia or just a few?
Yes, a lot. There are a lot of radio stations, print medias, and TV stations as well. Also, there are quite a few of online media these days, especially for news.
Oh, nice, nice. Um, what would you like to say to colleagues in the industry? What will be your advice to colleagues in the industry as to how to succeed and be successful as a broadcaster or print, as it were, or digital? There's a lot happening these days, and you have to be on top of your game. So what would be your advice for us generally in Africa, especially?
You have been very kind to me. I don't think I'm on the top of my game or I'm that successful. I just think I'm trying. I'm beginning, but learning and like don't give up. Like at the beginning, it seems like very tough. It's like because whenever you don't have the experience, it seems everything is a mountain. But with experience, with time, with collaborating with your team, I think you can manage it. You can do it. There's nothing you couldn't conquer or you couldn't learn through time. I feel so many new colleagues whenever they join our team or whenever they graduate and start working. I see that it feels like everything is a threat, and something you couldn't do it. But with time, everything is manageable. You can do it. All you need is to read, update yourself every day, learn every day. And I think the time is good to learn so many new things. It's easier than old times. So you can do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you can do it.
yes. Thank you so much for that. You can do it. Yes, she is saying, you can do it if you are in this profession. Collaborate, keep learning, and there is these days the digital media has made it easy to learn. Look how I'm having a conversation with her. We're having a conversation across Nigeria and Ethiopia, and I mean that is what it's a global village now. We are able to learn from each other from across the world. Unlike before, I may never have met you. You may never have met me.
Yeah.
But now the social media and digital media has made life easy. So I
Yeah.
want to thank you so much, Yeshi, for coming on the program. It's been a great pleasure, learning from you. I'm going to, keep watching some of your videos, and I'll be
Please
sharing
do.
and I'll be sharing the links to your videos on when I do post this
Okay.
on my YouTube page, and we'll be sharing a bit more about you. And I hope that we can better, collaborate going forward. So thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you so much, Adebisi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And keep shining, dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And this is where we'll be wrapping it up on this episode of the Media Talk Show series with me at ABC at Day2Day. And my guest has been Yeshi from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, sharing her experience as a communications specialist and, of course, with some background in broadcast journalism. She's a researcher, a writer, and so many things. And she's doing a lot to give voice to her community under the Co-Wash 4 project that she's presently working in. And I have learned a lot about storytelling in documentary, and I hope you'll be able to apply some of these in your work. Do not just sit down and do table production or local production. Go into the field and tell the stories from the angle of your audience. Storytelling will get people hooked always to your documentary, and that is what will sustain the audience following, and that is what will make sense of all the technicalities and all of that. And I would say to media professionals, beyond just writing and producing programs, ensure that you engage storytelling, and storytelling will require you getting out of your comfort zone to go out there to get the stories, such that whatever we are talking about makes more meaning and sense to our audiences. So I will always say, we are going to the top together. Keep working hard, keep pushing, and I'm rooting for you. Until next time, when I bring some other interesting personality, keep moving and going higher, keep improving on yourself, and keep doing the best that you can do. Beyond the sky is your limit. Until then, bye-bye.